Welcome back to part 2 of the bedroom makeover for my son's room. In part 1, we started by picking out cozy paint colors, painting the ceilings, and painting all of the walls that hadn't been painted in at least 20 years. To add some drama, we painted a dark gray-green accent wall to make a feature wall in the space. We were able to get away with just a quart of paint on the accent wall, which saved a lot of money. We also built our DIY shiplap headboard using a type of board called V-groove, which looks just like shiplap, but it has a V-shaped tongue and groove joint. This week, I'm starting off with finishing the headboard. I can't wait to see it painted. Yesterday, Brandon prepped the headboard for me. He did all the caulking and filling the nail holes, and he also primed it. So I can just go ahead and get started with painting and see how it looks at the end of the day. I picked a color called Pashmina by Benjamin Moore for this headboard. It looks really light in this outdoor lighting, but inside it's a really warm grayish color. I'm starting by cutting in all of the grooves with a paintbrush, and there are a lot of them with this shiplap style headboard. While the paint kits are drying, we are taking our new mattress out of the box. It's supposed to inflate for 3 days before using it. It also said to take it out of the box within 72 hours of receiving it, but we definitely forgot to do this, so hopefully it doesn't cause any inflating issues. With the paint kits all dry, now I can roll the rest of the paint on. I know some people don't like painting, but I actually really enjoy it, especially when it's a beautiful day outside and I can just turn some music on and start to see all of the hard work from building a project start to really come to life with the paint. I'm going to let the headboard cure for a few days before bringing it into the bedroom so that there are no paint fumes. Good morning. We are all finished the painting in this room, which is very exciting because now we can move on to the curtains. For the curtains, I really wanted to find a linen look curtain with some pleating. I wanted them to be really beautiful and make a statement because this accent wall with the arched window and the vaulted ceilings, it's kind of the main focal point of the room when you first walk in. So I really wanted to do a beautiful looking curtain, which meant spending a little more money than I would normally like to spend on curtains, but I still wanted to find something affordable, so I looked all over Amazon to find curtains that had the pleated look and they looked like real linen, but not being 100% linen since that would be super expensive. And I found a bunch of options and I read all the reviews, and I narrowed down 2 options that would get here in time and that would work for the length that I needed because it's such a custom length. One of the curtains I found was much more expensive, and I was able to find a length that I think is perfect with where we have the rod hung already. And then the other option was like 108 inches long, which is a little longer than what I need, but I could hem them with some hemming tape. I am not really great at sewing, so this iron-on hem tape has worked well for me in the past. So I've got 2 options to try. Okay, so here are the 2 curtain options I got. So they're both pinch pleated and blackout. Blackout was really important because we can't put any other window treatments on this window since it's arched, which is like really hard to find any kind of window treatment for. So curtains is the best bet. This first panel was about half the cost of these. They both have like a little bit of linen in them. They're not 100% linen. The more expensive, prettier looking ones here have more linen in them, and I'm already leaning towards them. If you look closely at this texture, you can really see the difference in the quality. I was hoping that I could get away with the cheaper ones, but we'll see how they look when they're hung up on the curtain rod. Okay, so I have the more expensive ones here, and they're really nice and pretty, and they have this great black outliner, but I need to figure out how these hinge plate hooks go on first before I can actually hang it up. I looked at the product description on the Amazon listing, and they had a little picture showing how these pleat clips work. There's like this little hole here under each pleat, and you just stick the hook into that hole, and you push it up. And then it's got these like little clips on here, which they come off. And then you can like add your rings on, and then stick them back on anywhere you need them. But I think I'm gonna need bigger rings. I think these are too small, but we'll test it out with these little rings. Ooh, blackout. So these hooks are a little different. I can already tell this curtain, the less expensive one, is like more lightweight. But let's try to figure this out. Alright, I like both of these curtains. This less expensive one, it has more defined pleating at the top, but it's definitely thinner and more lightweight and doesn't feel as like substantial as the more expensive ones do. I need to fix the rings no matter which one I decide to do, but the biggest issue I'm having here is when I close them. This more expensive one blocks out a lot more light and looks better, whereas this one, there's some holes peeking through the curtain, which looks really bad. So let me show you if you can see this. Okay, so I'm gonna have to go with the more expensive curtains here. This is one of those instances where you get what you pay for. They're a little short. They're like a ½ inch too short right now, so I'm gonna try to find some bigger curtain rings and the ones that don't have the clips on the end like I have on them right now. And they'll definitely need some ironing or steaming to make them sit better, but I really love how they look with the dark green gray wall. Alright, I just ordered the correct rings for these curtains. They're the eyelet style. I also bought a 2.3 inch size ring, so hopefully they're going to be the perfect length so that the curtains hang right and we don't have to move their curtain rod. They won't be arriving until tomorrow. Fortunately, they were only 1 day shipping though with Amazon. In the meantime, Brandon and I are going to move forward with getting our new headboard set up in here. Before we can actually bring our headboard into the room though, we need to take Jackson's toddler bed apart to get it through the door. I'm so excited to get the headboard set up in here and see how the gray paint color looks with the wall colors. The headboard fits great on the side wall, but I wanted to try it out on the accent wall just to see how it would look. I would love to put it on this accent wall if it didn't block half of the window. What do you think about beds in front of windows? I just feel like in this space it's not really working for me since there is just one window here. We are going to temporarily set the headboard up with a new metal bed frame. But the screws we're using here aren't the right size and we need to get some washers to go with it, but this will work for now. Unfortunately, while we were working in here, I moved the new curtains out of the way and the whole curtain rod came falling down on me with some drywall too. I guess it couldn't support the heavier weight of the new curtains. So we had to stop working on everything in here and get the holes repaired and install some heavier weight wall anchors for the rod and the curtain. We had to buy a sample size of the green paint to cover the hole repair since we were totally out of the green paint. The sample comes in satin, which is a different sheen from the eggshell we originally used on the wall, but fortunately you can't really tell from a distance with this dark color.
I hate hanging things.
A few days later, our large eyelet curtain rings arrived, as well as another set of pleated curtains that I ordered in white because I want to see how the white looks against this wall, and they were also about $80 less than the more expensive curtains, so I just wanted to give it a try to see if I could save some money and make these work instead. These cheaper white curtains are a much nicer quality than the first cheap set of pleated curtains that I tried out, and they are totally blackout. The only noticeable differences are that they're not as full and the hemmed edges aren't as nice looking, but I think they're a great deal, and these things just stand out more next to these more expensive curtains. After thinking things through, I'm going to stick with the more expensive curtains though, because I'm just ready to wrap this curtain project up. It keeps dragging out, and I just don't feel like spending the time to hem these new white curtains to size. I will link both of these faux linen curtains though below this video in the description box because I think they are both a great value for what you get compared to other options online. Unfortunately, the curtains I'm keeping really need some ironing though to define the pleats more. I have no idea if I'm ironing these pleats the right way. I'm just sort of making this up here as I go, and I think I should have Googled how to actually iron pinch pleat curtains, but I'm being lazy because I just want to get this project finished. Okay, so for the second curtain here, I am making sure that the pleats are really folded well together for ironing. The best way I can think to do this is to have Brandon stand on the ladder and hold them up so I can get them folded right at the bottom. Wow, ironing has made such a huge difference with the pleats. It was really annoying to do, but worth the extra time and effort. For the final touch, I added a drapery wand on each curtain for easy opening. I think these curtains look beautiful, and I'm really happy with how they turned out. It's time to get our headboard properly set up with the right size washers and screws. The screws are going in a bit crooked, but they are working. We also installed some scrap 2x4 wood blocks to the back of the headboard with some felt. We did this to help keep the headboard super sturdy when we lean against it when we're sitting in the bed, since it's only attached to this metal frame and not a full bed frame. So this is really gonna help keep it secure against the wall since there's some space between the headboard and the wall because of the shoe molding. For this bed, I ordered a new super budget-friendly mattress and box spring from Amazon that I'm really excited to try out. I didn't have to spend a lot on the mattress since we need to get all new bedding for this full-size bed, so I'm hoping that the mattress is comfortable. I will link the one we bought below this video. It's comfy. I think Jackson's gonna like it. Well, we are finally to the really fun and exciting part of this project, which is finalizing the bedding for our new bed and Shiplap headboard. I spent a lot of time looking for a really cozy and beautiful bedding combination. I wanted something that had some plaid to it because I love that look for a boy's bedroom, and I wanted it to be more neutral colors that would work well with the dark green accent wall, but I also wanted the bedding to have a lot of texture to it because I feel like that just enhances the whole look and it makes everything cozier. Well, I narrowed down 2 different combination options of bedding with a duvet cover and a coverlet. I love to layer bedding. I think not only does it make it cozy, but it just provides a lot of options for when you're sleeping. But this is the hard part because both options I love and they're beautiful. So now I just have to figure out which one is going to look the best with the paint colors and the color of our curtain that we decided to go with. I'm starting off with some soft white sheets here, which will look great with either bedding option combination that I end up going with. They're a bit wrinkly. I should probably iron them, but I don't know. Do you iron your sheets? In theory, I think it's a great idea, but I'm totally ironed out from the curtains for now, so I will just skip this right now. This first bedding option is really beautiful. I'm not adding the duvet yet since I'm just trying to get an idea of how it's going to look, and I have to wash everything once I do pick a final option. Love how this looks, especially with the headboard. Just don't know how I feel about curtain colors and the bedspread are a little bit clashing. Once I have a bunch of pillows on here and other colors, it might not be so obvious. Alright, so this one is just a little too big. I think it's too bright of a white. Not liking this one as much. So this makes the decision a lot easier. Exchanging the cream colored coverlet for a white version, and I think it matches everything in the room so much better, and I really love how the tan and beige gingham looks with the white coverlet. And I just kind of threw some pillows together for this part too that I had on hand already, along with the shams that came with the bedding that I ordered. In part 3, I'm going to play around a lot more with the bedding and finding some more cozy bedding options that go with the whole color palette and theme that I want to do in here more. Also, I was hoping for part 2 that I would have a rug to show you guys. I ordered a really cute rug on Prime Day a couple days ago, and it was supposed to come yesterday, but it didn't. It's running late, so I will have to show you that in part 3 as well. But if you want to see it before part 3, make sure to follow me on Instagram. I'll be sharing a couple sneak peeks of it there once it arrives and I get it laid out. At this point, I really love how this bedroom makeover is coming together. I'm super excited in part 3 to finish everything with all of the wall decor, updating the bookshelves, giving the dresser a makeover, and really adding some personality to the space, especially with a few things that my toddler loves, but I'm still going to keep it really beautiful as well and cozy. Before I finish up all of the projects in this room for the final makeover, I need some time to think about everything, and we actually are going to be starting on some of our office makeover projects because we really need to make some more functional updates in there ASAP, but they will also be pretty updates. So make sure to follow along because we have so many fun projects coming up. As always, thank you so much for following along, and make sure to subscribe and turn those notifications on so you don't miss anything.